New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show, here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what? The Knicks won just won 4 in a row, guys. That's right. And we beat the Raptors, spoiling RJ's return to the Garden, 139 to 125. So we busting shots. And we had contributions from a few places. Karl-Anthony Towns, after having a lackluster game before, gave you 31 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. Damn near had a triple-double. Yes, he did. Mikal Bridges gives you 14 points and 4 assists. That man's still scorching. Yes, he is. Jalen Brunson only gave you 12 points, but gave you 7 assists and 2 steals. Payne, it's the Payne game, gave you 19 points, scored 16 of that in the first half. And OG freaking Anunoby gave you 31.7 rebounds and 4 assists, destroyed his last team, almost had a damn near perfect game. Bust those shots for OG Anunoby. The trend continues. The Knicks had 34 assists and it led to a win. The Knicks also out-rebounded the Raptors 47-39, so that helped as well. We also had 9 steals. We had remarkable defense. And once again, we put the clamps on the Raptors. And we are rolling in December, looking like a juggernaut of the team. And we're going to talk about it all. I know it's a lowly team, still the Raptors. And it's not a big win team, but I still like the way we won this game. So we're going to talk about it, all right? Before I talk about it, I'm going to introduce you to my guy, the Latin assassin, ESPN contributor, Bleacher Report contributor. My guy just on the putback. Go check that out. Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
My main man, Jay Ellis. It's been a while since I've been on one of my sappy monologues, and I feel like it's about that time to remind everyone how far we've come. Damn it, I chose to be a Knicks fan at the worst possible time. 2002, fresh off an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. I was like, time to be a Knicks fan and build a foundation with my dad, rooting for the same team. I'm not a sports guy. I don't like sports outside of hoops, but I picked a team in a mid-market city, and I had been hearing about the Yankees all my life, hearing about the Jets. I was like, well, maybe the Knicks are going to bring a championship within, 4 or 5 years by being a fan. Little did I know, 22 years later, I would still be a fan of one of the worst teams in all of sports during that period. But thanks to a man named Leon Rose, he has turned everything around. I have never in my entire fandom seen a team like this. I feel like we've uttered that multiple times throughout this season, both offensively and defensively. With Karl-Anthony Towns, the possibilities are really endless on both sides. He has the ability to be downright dominant defensively when he wants to be, and offensively, he does things I've never seen this player do in blue and orange uniform. I've never seen someone of his size, and not even KP, someone who is able to get into the mid-range and basically pull out a full arsenal of shots that he can hit at his whim. That's unbelievable. It's not just his size. It's not just his 5-level scoring. It's also the IQ and how you're watching a player see the game slow down in real time. It's one of the few instances in my fandom I caught the moment that it happened for a player, and that's when he was able to meet and maximize his full potential. Karl-Anthony Towns, #1 pick in the NBA for a reason. We're seeing him fully actualized now. The passing, where we saw moments early in the season that were flashy, but maybe didn't finish. Now, not only are they finishing, they're some of the flashiest passes I've ever seen in my entire life, much less from a Knicks team or a Knicks player. So damn it, I am so happy to have Karl-Anthony Towns. And you have to think about the foundational block first, which is Leon Rose. OMG, my man is a saint. We don't have a damn statue built outside of MSG, and me and Jay Ellis been a hug in front of it. I can't wait for this.
Yo, Karl-Anthony Towns found a way. He definitely found a way. And it's funny, I feel like he has this groove now where we kind of know what's going to happen. He starts out slow. They kind of pressure in the beginning. Then the cutters start to go. He starts to hit cutters. Then before you know it, by the second quarter, he starts taking over the game. It's the same script, seems like, over and over again. And it's good that it's the same script because it just means the team is just in a certain flow where they know when to hit the certain buttons, and Karl-Anthony Towns knows when to hit certain buttons offensively. The Raptors were missing Portal, so he had to take advantage of his size in the paint. Started out going outside, but then eventually started driving to the paint and realized, hey, I'm just bigger than everybody else, and bully balled his way into some points. Really, really lit at the free throw line, especially in the first half. From looking at the stats, Karl-Anthony Towns had, let's see, Karl-Anthony Towns 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Isn't it nice to have a center who can hit free throws? It's a luxury that I'm enjoying right now. And then also loosening them up inside. Then the third quarter comes. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna just start hitting pull-up threes on your head. Like you said, Lee, the multiple level scoring has been a godsend for us. The passing has been a godsend. 3 more assists, you would have had a triple-double, man. You would have had your first triple-double in MSG. That would have been it. Well, but nonetheless, great game by Karl-Anthony Towns all around. Still defensively, certain things to work on, certain things to tweak. Felt like first quarter defensively, it was a little bit weird for him, but he picked it up as the game went on. And also he still has to find his balance between playing hard and not fouling. And he still sounds, he's fouled out today. and he's having trouble staying on the court. But I think by the time the third or fourth quarter rolled around, I don't think he cared as much because the Knicks just had such a big lead that it really didn't matter. But at the same time, I just want those habits to be cleaned up. I just need those habits to be cleaned up for the playoffs, man. We need you on the floor. Too important to play.
I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that's going to happen. Look at the level of acceleration between the start of the season and now, and how comfortable Karl-Anthony Towns has become, and even more comfortable in drop to feign the rim. I agree. The first quarter, it was like a turnstile in there. Everyone was getting at the rim, especially RJ. I was most worried about RJ Barrett because I felt like if he got hot getting to the rim, which is probably his strong suit, is getting downhill, then it would open things up for Scotty Barnes and others to be able to have more open threes because you have to collapse and defend it. I thought there was some adjustments made in the second half where they would kind of get in front of RJ early, cutting off his driving lanes, not letting him have such a seamless drive downhill. And Karl-Anthony Towns is more able to rotate into a help defender at that point and not have to be defending everything as a point of attack. Also, man, these type of guys that we usually have always wanted at least one at a time. We had Brunson. Now you add Cat to that. You add OG. You add Mikal Bridges, and everyone comes here and plays their best brand of basketball. This is almost the best case scenario for a lonely, depressed Net fans like myself who have never even seen one of these guys on a team at the same time outside of Melo, much less a starting five that might be, I think, the best starting five in the NBA. It's hard to say that really because they play so many more minutes than their counterparts that I think sometimes it becomes skewed. But now that we're starting to see the bench actually get the minutes they deserve, I think Shamet is going to expand the rotation to at least 9, probably 10 when Mitch gets back. Yeah. That is going to really solidify the starting five as a real starting five that actually has a bench that comes in and relieves them, and then they play their allocated minutes. And when that happens, I think we're going to have the best roster and rotation in the NBA as well, because Shamet, as you saw a small little glimpse, he's no bum off the bench. He's not Matt Ryan. He's not someone that's floated between G League and the pros. He's been a pros pro for the last 5 or 6 years on good teams and even bad teams. And the bad teams, he's stuffed the stat sheet. But good teams, he's been a quality playoff rotation player on both ends of the ball as well. So I'm looking for the team defense that he brings, the high IQ shot making, and the 3-point volume that I think can be about 80 to 85% of what Dante DiVincenzo brought to us if he is fully acclimated to the rotation and fully healthy. If he is, bombs away, we're going to be damn near unstoppable offensively. But as you pointed out, it's the defense. That's going to start with more maturation, understanding, intelligence, and Karl-Anthony Towns, when to go for the foul, when to go for the block, when to be aggressive, how to know how to impact the game without being the one-on-one defender when you're in foul trouble. That's going to be really important, but that also comes on Precious Achiuwa. I've seen Precious Achiuwa get bodied a couple of times this season so far on bigger, stronger offensive players. He's going to have to, I think, either hit the weight room or just get a little more smarter with how he defends, because we need him right now with Mitch out as the backup 4 and the backup 5.
I'm going to start off by commenting on something you said about the best starting 5 in the NBA. Right now, we are getting our legs under us. We're getting comfortable. Still, a lot of the teams that we beat recently have been kind of like the low-level teams. There has been a few good ones, like the Nuggets. All the Nuggets have kind of been shaky lately. The Timberwolves was a quality win because of the type of defense they played, and we was able to obliterate their defense with our offense. but we still have a ways to go as far as proving ourselves of playing like the top echelon teams, and there's not that many in the East so far. It's like the Celtics and the Cavs really. So it's like the more we start to play those top echelon teams, and if we start to have those same type of performances, I feel like we'll gain some more notoriety and we'll be taken even more seriously. And not that I'm saying I'm not taking this seriously now, but because I like the way we're playing, and it seems like things are clicking right now. But like that's going to be the next big test for us, and that's going to be the next thing that's going to have us more recognized in the league and have us taken seriously. Because right now everybody's talking about the Celtics, the Thunder, and we gotta once our schedule gets harder, our name will start to get up there with it. Second, you mentioned the bench. The bench today is what changed the game. It almost looks like the Pelicans game all over again, where Jalen Brunson, he goes to the bench. Actually, Jalen Brunson had like a rough game. Raptors, great job defending Jalen Brunson. Good news. That's the good news. The bad news is you couldn't defend everybody else. Horrible day for you. So second quarter, once again, our bench, Deuce McBride and Payne come in and punch them in the mouth. Deuce comes in right away, plays impeccable defense, calls turnovers, hits 2 threes, one really crucial 3 where he like pretty much a fast break transition 3. And then from then on, Payne just goes freaking supernova, starts hitting back-to-back 3-pointers, scoop layups. Not only that, causing turnovers and just pushing the pace. The second unit does a really good job of just putting the pedal to the metal and changing the pace of the game. And you know, the league has been talking about how we don't have a strong bench for a while, and now it seems like with just those two, we're able to have an impact and on back-to-back games, even if they don't score a lot, because a lot of people make a big stink about how much the bench is scoring. Our defense is changing game. The defense of the second unit is changing game, and that's turning into offense, and that's changing the game for us. So like even today, Payne had 19 points, which is amazing. Helps our bottom line on bench scoring. But like the game before, Payne didn't have 19 points, but he helped force a lot of turnovers. and when you help force a lot of turnovers, maybe the starters will get the points because you force the turnovers, and that doesn't go towards the bench points. But the bench certainly contributed to why you took those leads. So I mean, I despite the bench scoring or whatever, just the energy, the defense, the way they push the pace has been a huge plus for us. And once again, Payne and Deuce McBride did a good job of blowing the game open for us in the second quarter.
Well said. One of the things I've really looked at that's made me so damn optimistic and has me saying words like not just championship, but dynasty, which I tweet out an hour after we acquired Karl-Anthony Towns, for all you Spain the block, including myself, is the way that we score. We're not just a historically dominant team, which we are. I believe we're one of the top 10 most dominant NBA offenses in the history of a game, certainly in the modern era. But it's the way that we're doing it. We're not just bombing a bunch of threes. In fact, we actually are toward the bottom. We're closer to the bottom in 3-point attempts than we are toward the top. We're not like one of the teams like Boston,
right,
who shot a bunch, or Dallas, who's shooting a bunch of threes. But the key is when we do shoot them, damn it, are we efficient? We are number 2 in 3-point percentage right now behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. But if you think about the Cavs, their 4s and 5s aren't giving them much 3-point volume. There's no volume in the 5. All 5 of our guys at every position are able to knock down threes. Furthermore, we score a lot of points off turnovers. We're 10th in the NBA scoring points off turnovers at 18.8 a game. Those are 2 metrics, both a not depending or living or dying by the 3, and scoring off of our defense that end up becoming championship caliber attributes for teams that win chips. I am putting a lot of stock on that being our identity and not being a team who just chucks a bunch of threes, and if we make them, we win. If we don't, we get blown the hell out. We are able to score based on our defensive acumen and ability, but also able to score in the mid-range. When things aren't falling, you can give a bailout to Mikal Bridges, and you know he's going to knock down that turnaround fadeaway, and he's going to do a little bit of memeing in your face while he does it. Or Karl-Anthony Towns, you give it to him in pick and roll, where he catches the mid-range, he might pop, He might drive. He might do a little floaty, a little midi. No matter what, it's probably going to draw a foul too. And if he doesn't make the shot, he's damn sure going to make both free throws. Those level of intricate, complex ways to score on multiple tiers is what makes you a powerhouse offense. And we cover all those bases while also being a damn sharp shooting, three-point shooting squad.
Yeah, I want to play the Celtics again so bad because just the way that we played them before and how much they shot, how many threes they shot, and we tried to keep up with them, and they were amped off of the win from the championship. They just won. Like I want to see how we match up with them now. Now that we got our legs under us, now that we have a system under us, now that we are more of a well-oiled machine, I'm really curious to see how that matchup goes. For sure.
I agree 100%. I also want to say that I'm actually and I think I said this about a week after it happened, I'm very grateful that we got that beat down on national television at the start of the season, because I think they lit a fire in us, and it kind of gave us all, it crushed hubris and gave the whole team humility, because they really had to realize, oh shit, we got a little ways to go. And that ways going to probably take the entire season for us both to get healthy, but also acclimate. Two major additions, guys that have been very high usage on-ball players, and Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns into their role in New York. And we found out that Bridges is kind of a give and go. Some nights it's him, some nights it's OG. But Towns, we've really now developed into someone we're using as a playmaking hub. Yeah. We're running the offense through him, which is a major adjustment from years prior where we need Jalen Brunson to drop 39 or take 25 shots. That's no longer the case. And that, again, goes to my point of our offense is complex. It scores in a variety of ways. It scores in difficult ways, easy ways. Most importantly, it scores through two superstar 5-level scorers in Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and it's not even just them though. It's like freaking Josh Hart was looking like a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Like he had a couple of nice passes. One like a fast break to Jalen Brunson, to OG Anunoby a few times. Josh Hart's passing has been really good. Also, Mikal Bridges' passing has been really good. Like,
yes,
Cat, of course, he's popping off the page, but as a team, we've just been on a string offensively and that's why we're averaging damn near 30 point, 30 assists a game for probably December. Like, I'm not sure where we are in assists in total as of today. But I know at least if we just take into account December, we have to be like top 3 at least if we just counting December, because the way we're passing the ball is just intoxicating.
And it is. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and defensively too. Like the defense has picked up for sure. And shout out to Tommy Beer who posted these stats on his Twitter. October, the Knicks had the 26th best defense, which is when I say I use the word best loosely. I should say worst defense. That's probably a better word to use. November the 23rd worst defense, having teams score 115 points. And in December, we're the 3rd in the NBA in 104.8. So the defense has come a long way each month. And that's a staple of a Tom Thibodeau team. We see this every year. Every year, Lee. Tom Thibodeau's teams get better defensively as the season goes on. Happens every single year, and this year is no different. And if the team stays together and the starting five stay together, which I hope and know it will, we won't have these slow defensive starts next season. I feel like we'll start off to the races, but that's also a big step that I wanted to mention.
One of the biggest reasons I think for that defensive uptick, number one, is having Precious Achiuwa back. His ability to switch in the pick and roll, his ability to guard the perimeter, to close out, also his ability to protect the rim. Statistically in eye test, they both match up congruently that he's a badass rim defender, as well as Mikal Bridges becoming a more attentive, familiar defender with Tom Thibodeau's teams, which everyone that's ever played for him has said they're very complicated, they're very intensive, and takes a lot of communication on the court. And I think we're starting to see Mikal Bridges become a little bit more of a leader on that side in terms of yelling out what's happening and being able to call out the offensive plays to where he's adjusting, not just adjusting where he needs to be, but letting everybody know where they need to be too. And I think that's helped him in those situations I mentioned last pod, like digging. where he's had the opportunity to did both on a post-up player and either cause havoc or force a turnover, but then also get back to the perimeter and make sure he doesn't give up a wide open three. Those two things have been the biggest differences that I've seen from mid-October to the month of December, especially the addition of Precious Achiuwa, which will only become more lethal when Mitchell Robinson joins him in that rotation. And they would ask an important question. Should Tom Thibodeau at that point maybe make an adjustment with the starting lineup and put in Precious over Josh? I've heard arguments in the last couple of days for and against, but when I look at a product that is this consistent and this good, why change it? So to me, I think it should be maintained with Josh Hart in the lineup, even though he brings so much as a sixth man, and probably would have won sixth man if he was coming off the bench this season. I like the idea of Precious Achiuwa and Mitch coming in and giving a whole new revolutionary look defensively when we're playing teams like Denver or LA or OKC that have really potent multi-dimensional bigs.
Yeah, I agree. I also just feel like in general too, Lee, like we're just getting more attentive defense. Like Cat, like I said before, I feel like he's been leaps and bounds better than he was defensively from the start of the season till now. Although he does have his foul out syndrome sometimes. I don't know if he just looks, and maybe that's just schemes too. Maybe that's just Tibbs leaning more on the wings, keep him out of trouble more. But also, I just noticed that Cat has been better as time is going on for sure. And I feel like we've done a better job closing out on the three. I feel like we've done a better job just rotating and being on a string. OG Anunoby himself, like I feel like in December he's been done this thing where he's just blocking 3-point shots all of a sudden, and that's why even now you're looking at his numbers, and he's in career highs in blocked shots, and a lot of those blocked shots are from the 3-point line. So I think collectively as a team we stepped up defensively, and it's showing right now for sure.
Yeah, I think it really comes back to communication, because the roster, at least the rotation that Tibbs is playing, they're all well above average defenders with the exception of Brunson, Towns, maybe Payne. Everyone else is damn near elite defensively. So it would make sense that at some point things are going to regress to the mean. But what I see a lot more talking out there on the court. And there was one sequence specifically that really made me appreciate it. Even though it led to a made shot, it didn't lead to a made three and made to a made layup. But Payne and I think it was Karl-Anthony Towns were cross switching, and then Payne saw that the point of attack was coming from the left side, and he knew it might be a pull up three. So he told Towns to get back into the paint and take his man, and then he went out and covered the perimeter. And it cut off the three. But then I can't remember what player it was, lobbed it to RJ, and RJ went in for a layup. That's Karl-Anthony Towns not being the best rim protector.
Yeah.
But at least there was communication to cut off what could have been a wide open three-point attempt. And I would rather stop a team from getting hot from three in rhythm than getting layups at the rim, because you're scoring 2 against 3. And I think we at least have the offense to keep up with them if they start hitting layups compared to 3-pointers.
Yeah, I remember exactly what play you're talking about too. And I remember thinking like, damn it, that was probably like the worst defensive sequence I've seen from Karl tonight. Was that play you were talking about? But then I think after that, it was gotten progressively better. So I know exactly.
I believe that was the first quarter when that happened, and things tightened up after that.
Exactly.
But at least they were talking. At least they kept it from the first quarter. You don't want those breakaway threes happening. That can really cause you to get into a rut and have it claw your way back into the game. Yeah,
I mean the Raptors were tricky, man. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. Like they were scoring off of made baskets. That was the maddening thing. And even when we were back, it seemed like they were scoring with like 1 or 2 players back. And it was like, you have to be really disciplined and not even just get back, but have multiple players get back and try to build a wall or something, because they were scoring off of made baskets multiple times. And I was like, man, what is happening? It took for the second quarter to happen for Deuce and Payne to just get multiple stops and turnovers in a row and score on them for us to like really stop the bleeding. For real. I gotta talk about OG Anunoby. Because I feel like OG watched the last program. I feel like OG has a burner account somewhere. He's joined the KOT TikTok or YouTube. Shout out to people on TikTok watching. Shout out to Ramiro Rodriguez. Shout out to Vinyl World. Shout out to 15 user. If you have any questions, I'll read those in the comments. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to YouTube as well as Parker, Gregory Lee, Fritz. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Sandman. But I feel like he saw the last program and was like, you know what, I'll clean it up. Because the last program, I talked about how good OG has been off defensively, but offensively, he was shooting, 38% from the field, 23% from three ever since he had that 40-point game in Denver. And today, he didn't miss until the third quarter? He was like 11 for 11.
Correct.
Perfect defensively, damn near perfect offensively, shot 3-pointers, got in transition and posted the smaller man and had multiple dunks, even spun away from Scotty Barnes and shot a great mid-range game.
Beautiful.
He was magnificent. This was his best game of the season so far. And what made me smile was this is the second game I can remember where both Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby both were on their game, both offensively and defensively. When you have games like that, you'll have 33-point leads and the Knicks scoring 139 points in regulation once again. Come on. So, yeah, amazing game by OG Anunoby, led by amazing stats in December. You saw MSG kind of read those stats off during the show. 1.6 steals, second highest of his career. He's averaging 1.6 steals a game, 1.1 blocks, career high right now, 101 deflections, averaged by OG. That's third in the NBA. And he's holding defenders to 37% from the field goal. Lowest in the NBA. So he's locking people up as well. When you add that with the offense he gives you, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Let's talk about it. That play that you mentioned on Scotty Barnes, I'm sure somewhere Masai Ujiri was fuming, looking at the past and present of his team and two guys that embody very different motor and discipline in OG and Scotty Barnes. No disrespect to Scotty, but OG is just such an efficient player. This stretch of him not hitting his 3-point over the course of December has been kind of an aberration throughout his career. He's always been very solid when he's on the court. But that shot he did on Scotty was really the only one that was unassisted. And what a beautiful, unbelievable ISO play it was with the step back. And it was also the only shot he shot that had space.
Yeah.
Most of his shots he had defender, whether it was on the perimeter or when he drove, that he was being guarded and he still hit and shot through contact.
Good point.
A couple of things really impressed me. I tweeted a couple of weeks ago that he's one of the most efficient players once he's in a dunker spot. And tonight was a great example of that. He had like 5 to 6 or 7 shots in the dunker spot where he would pump fake, guys would go flying over him, then he would go in for a dunk. He also had some where they didn't go for the fake, he still went up for the dunk, and he would finish through contact. That is an unbelievable weapon to have, especially in the playoffs. The way he scores is how players have to score in the playoffs when defenses tighten up. So many of his shots, too, were going downhill. They were in the rhythm of the offense, meaning his teammates are becoming more familiar with him. They know where he's going to be, and they know where he's the most high percentage shot completion in terms of when he catches the ball, and they're finding him in those spots too. I love his ability to shoot and make the shot while coming down, which is as someone who can't do that, I know how damn difficult it is, and reminds me a lot of Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace. They have a very similar scoring shot clock, and they both really thrive when their shots are assisted on, and you don't necessarily have to trade off a dribble. And these guys are finding him smooth, they're finding him downhill, and he's always leaking out for those long outlet passes by Josh Hart or Karl-Anthony Towns that catch him in stride and rhythm, and he goes up for a layup or a dunk.
Yeah, like I'm glad you mentioned shooting over contested defenders because he's been struggling with that for most of the year. And he was actually able to do that this game, where he's able to shoot over people while tightly contested. And also, he has a tendency to fall down in the paint sometimes after a few pump fakes. And it's crazy because he looks like he can squat like 450, just looking at the size of his legs. So when he starts to get into the post and fall, I don't understand what's happening. But today, he did a good job of just holding his ground and finishing through contact. And that's the type of play that we're going to need moving forward going into the playoffs, especially if they're going to play off of Cat and Brunson. We're going to have to make him pay with our wings. And hopefully he takes this game and carries it on to the next game for Christmas against the Spurs, for sure.
Yep.
And Mikal Bridges, man, just scout Mikal Bridges. only have 14 points, but this is I like this 14 points. I just play defense and shoot efficiently. I didn't shoot a lot of shots. OG had it going today. It's fine. I just still hit the shots that I have. Zero hesitation, hitting above the bait threes, hitting corner threes, hitting the fadeaways. Gave you 14 points, 4 assists, and a steal. 4 or 5 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. Take that. I'll take it. All right. Salute to the chat. I see you guys. Any comments that I kind of been ping pong with you, Lee. I'm sorry, chat. I've neglected the comments. I usually read it.
Shout out Kind Ajayi. Haven't seen you in the chat before. Appreciate having you in. East Blue Drew, hilarious Dr. Umar reference. Will never pass up LOLing at the Dr. Umar / Snow Bunny reference or joke there. Alexander S. Parker, we see you, Prezi the boss. We always appreciate you, brother, longtime supporter. Stanley Nowak, my guy. Apologies at the show. It's been a little more mature for your taste lately. Saw you in the comments. You know we love you, brother. I don't think we mean any harm if we're sarcastic or smarmy here on the show. It's all love. Call in anytime and give us one of your impressions. We actually miss it.
Yeah, yo, okay. So, guys, all right. So Discord. The Discord is pinned to the chat. Yo, Stanley, I know you live the phone. I know when we first had a Discord back in the day, 3 years ago or 2 years ago, it was complicated. The technology has been more advanced. It is way easier to get on Discord now. It's like we actually tested it out like what a week or two ago, where it's pretty much like a click, one click right now. So Stanley, if you want to get on Discord and you want to talk and you want to do an impression for 5 minutes before I kick you off, go ahead. All right.
We love Stanley, man. He's one of our favorites.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's way easier. I know he's like, I'm an older person. I don't know how to use technology. It's way easier. It's way easier. We simplify the process. But the Discord link is open. I should actually put it in the TikTok too, actually. Put it in the TikTok too. Let me see if somebody is brave enough on TikTok to go on the Discord link. So TikTok link, I'll put the Discord link in the TikTok chat. If somebody from TikTok wants to get on Discord link. For you guys on YouTube, the link is pinned to the top already. So if you want to hop on the Discord and you have something to say, you want to talk Knicks basketball with us, go ahead and we'll chat with you. See what you got to say. All right. Let's see. Hold on a second.
So Stanley said, I'm not that old.
Oh, man. Oh, man. And also, if you just want to talk after the game, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we do have to talk. Sometimes people like to talk basketball after the game, and you like the KOT community. There is a Discord. There are little Discord discussions happening over there. Shout out to Fritz, who's kind of been manning that recently. And you can talk with the KOT community because the KOT community is a certain type of people. They usually like to speak intelligent basketball over there and post links and stuff. So you can go over there and talk with Pix and Fritz and whoever else, and I'll pop in there from every now and again and give my 2 cents too as well if you want to interact with us. All right. Shout out to Sean Wilson, who says Anthony Edwards is overhyped. Okay, all right. He is.
Wow.
I'm not even gonna get to Anthony Edwards talk right now. He's still young, so I can't even.
I disagree 100%. I disagree 100%. I think Anthony Edwards top 7 NBA.
Yeah, I feel like the overhyped stuff is because of what's happening with the Timberwolves recently. But
that's not his fault. That's Mike Conley washed and Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, man. Gobert's balling. Ant's balling.
Exactly.
What do you want, man?
Exactly.
Mike Conley's washed. They need a new point guard.
Exactly. That's that. You can't win it by yourself. No matter what type of talent you have, you can't win it by yourself. Whoever's holding down the hearts on TikTok, God bless you. I see the hearts on TikTok is up to 767. Thank you guys.
Let's go. I love that, man.
Oh man. All right. I don't see nobody wants to join the Discord. Everybody shy today. That's cool. JT Reddick, man. Shout out to my guy. That's my trainer in my head. Shout out to you.
Let's go, bro.
All right. I feel like I talked about everything else. I don't see anybody joining the Discord. No one's really.
Wait, I have one more thing I want to say.
Go ahead. What's up?
Campaign, my guy.
Timmy, take your walk right now, Timmy.
Listen, I said it, I think the second week of the season, bro. I said campaign is better than 90% of the starting point guards we've had on the net team in the last 20 years. Damn it, it's true. He's our third string point guard, and he would start if this was 2009. Like, my guy he is a demon. When he hits hot, he really can change the momentum of a game. I like his defense is, I would say he's above average overall defender. He can actually, in spurts, in 10, 15 minutes, he can guard the point of attack too, if he's playing with the other starters and he has some support behind him. I love his moxie, love his attitude. Man, his three-point shot is about as ugly as mine, but it goes in. And when it goes in, it can really break the other team's spirit. And I love that about Campaign. I love he talks a lot of smack after he scores too. And I think his addition has been great. As our oldest player at 30 years old, I think he's brought some of that long playoff tenured perspective to a fairly young locker room. And I've loved him being in the rotation. Him and Deuce, those two guys in the backcourt coming in, both being able to play on ball, off ball. It makes me think about guys like Ramon Sessions and Tony Douglas and Jose Calderon. I'm like, Campaign would beat all of them in a game of ones. All of them. He would take all their starting jobs with the exception of Stephon Marbury and Derrick Rose, man. Everyone else, even Elfrid Payton, I'm taking Campaign. That's my boy. I love him.
Yo, you know what's funny? I always make fun of Campaign because how ugly his jump shot is. But it's like, there's two things that happen, right? When he shoots the quick three and it's ugly and it misses, you get madder. But then the opposite happens. When he hits it, because it's so ugly and he hits multiple of those, it's like even more demoralizing. It's like, oh my God, he actually hit three in a row.
I want to say one thing, though. I will say, when he misses, and damn it, if he bricks a three, I've noticed he plays some hard-ass defense on the next possession, though. He'll go down and he'll try his best to force a turnover or lock up the guy bringing the ball up, and I love that about him.
No,
he doesn't get his head. He doesn't sag back. He doesn't walk back. He doesn't stop shooting. He keeps shooting until his game impacts and toward a win. And that is, man, it's just a beautiful quality to have in a vet, and I love having him backing up dudes like Brunson and McBride, but also taking a guy like Kolek under his wing to nurture that attitude that Kolek has. Our MVP from a G League showcase. Shout out Tyler Kolek, baby. I love that white boy. He's all right with me. I love him having Campaign to really impress upon him that you can still have your personality and impact winning on both sides of the ball.
Damn, Gamer Channel says Super Chat is not working. Oh,
what?
Hell no. That's the man trying to stop us from winning.
Oh, hell no, indeed.
That's right, because Precious Achua hit the three today.
Yo, how about Tyler Kolek, man? G League MVP. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. Kolek's a dog.
Cole's a dog, man. I'm glad he's getting some minutes in the G League. There we go. There's the Super Chat. $10 Super Chat from Gamer Channel. Who he is vowed to donate $10 for every three Precious hit.
Wow.
So just pray he never hits like 10 in a game or something. But shout to Game Channel. He says Precious Achua, one more three. Let's go. OG Anunoby was great tonight. Cat continues to ball. Campaign's ability to push the ball off the floor has been key. Now you're not lying. You're not lying. It has been. Welcome back, Ellis Shamet, bruh pick Embiid. Bruh. Oh, he's jumping the gun. He's jumping the gun. Yo, I forgot to mention that, Lee. All this talk about the bench and how much scoring we don't have. We still have a good impact from this bench defensively, but now we're finally going to get back a little bit of a scoring punch. Now that Shamet is back, and if you guys didn't know, Matt Ryan has been waived. He probably will be brought back on a two-way. Shamet has now joined the New York Knicks. I'm not sure the details of the contract. I feel like I haven't seen the details of the contract or like the money or like how many games I have. Or like partially guaranteed. I still like I haven't seen any of the details, but I'm pretty sure the way it's set up, it'll be set up in a way that we don't go over the second apron because the Knicks have been super vigilant about not doing that. But I'm really excited to see what happens with Landry Shamet joining the team and the rotation. When he was playing in the preseason, I thought for a while that Tom Thibodeau was going to go to a 10-man rotation. So now that Shamet is back, and once Mitchell Robinson comes back, I really wonder what the rotation is going to look like and whether Tibbs will actually go 10 men. Because it looked like he was about to do that in preseason. Kind of weird. But we'll see. We'll see.
I will comment on that and campaign after we celebrate our main man, Jean-Marc, with a $5 super chat. How about Landry Shamet? Very promising. Man, we love you, Jean-Marc. And Fritz in their handle on the channel. I agree with Fritz. We do have the best followers. Not only are they generous, but they're also hella loyal. They stay up with us sometimes after a loss.
Yeah.
Damn it, on a Friday, Saturday night, sometimes till midnight, 1 a.m. Eastern time. We really love our followers. They keep us going. And they're also some great people. Damer Channel, someone I commiserate with a lot on Twitter. Sometimes just a tweet from him in my DMs talking about old school Knicks would light my day. I appreciate all of you guys. We both do. Jay Ellis has cultivated a great community here of diehard Knicks fans that really look after one another.
No, absolutely. I really love this community. I really do. And it's funny because like the numbers go up and down for sure sometimes depending on who's winning, who's losing, what's happening in our lives. But like I don't know what's happened. I said this before. The super chats have been coming in more plentiful than last season, I feel like, with the numbers being kind of weird this year. So I really appreciate like the super diehards from Simi to JT to the Gamer Channel to Gregory. Like y'all really been holding us down. So I really do appreciate you guys. And new followers too. I welcome you to join the community too as well. And like I said, there is a Discord link pinned to the top. Even if you don't want to chat live with us today, there are some discussions happening in the Discord. So you can just kind of talk to fellow KOT people and talk basketball with them. So hit that link now or later. And also, if you go to the community tab, if you go to my last posts, you can join the Discord there as well. When I say my last post, I'm talking about the last post on YouTube. If you want to join the Discord there. All right.
And to circle back on Jean-Marc's $5 comment, how about Shamet? Very promising. I agree 100%, man. You got a really solid playoff veteran coming back into the fold. He seems to have fully healed from his shoulder injury at a miraculous rate, like almost twice as fast as Julius Randle did, maybe quicker. But the dude is just in the prime of his career, too. Was he 28, 29? So he's like a prime time baller if it's basically going to come onto a vet minimum or even somehow below based on what Brock Bowers been able to pull out the Magician's hat. I love the idea of Shamet on the squad. I really think we've needed a volume shooter on the bench. That's why I advocated so hard for Bodie and why I loved what Dante DiVincenzo brought to his team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives you something that you can break glass when needed, and that guy comes in and can just hit you a three that starts a comeback, and then you end up winning the game. Shamet's been in that situation a lot. The time in Washington, I think, has made him very grateful. We got him at the right time, too. Coming out of Washington, being waived, his NBA career was kind of up in the air, and the ability to go to a contender, I think, has re-energized him. And it's made him loyal to the organization to where he's willing to maybe take a pay cut in order to help us win a chip. So, man, getting him back, I do think Tibbs expands at the 10. I think Mitch is the 10th man with Shamet, Deuce, Precious, and Payne is going to be our 10-man rotation, and that is absolutely worth expanding it from 8 to 10. And we're going to win a championship behind him too.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some of our starters get less minutes, more so McCall and OG, who's been like leading the league in minutes so far this season. It'd be cool to cut them down, even though they don't really complain. I don't know. I just like to see it. I just like
Me too.
To see it.
And one more comment on Shamet. The rest of the roster, Jay, you probably agree with me. Shamet's really the only one that can replicate some of what Mikal Bridges gives you. So his piece is very important to be able to help alleviate some of those minutes and get Mikal Bridges maybe closer to, what do you think, 28 to 31 minutes a game, somewhere around there. He can back him up at the 2 and be that catch and shoot guy on the perimeter that helps hit threes.
I agree. He's the guy who has one of the faster releases on the team. And he should help us tremendously off the bench. So I can't wait to see how he's implemented with the team for sure. For sure. All right. I see my guy. Shout to Sherman. What's going on, Sherwin?
Sherwin.
Yeah, man. No time no see, sir.
Big ups.
Yeah, Craig Ward too. I see my guy Craig Ward and Knicks Nation TV. Also. All right. Fritz is out. Fritz is in the Discord. So I'm gonna put Fritz in here.
Fritz coming up. Let's go. Fritz.
All right, Fritz, you're now live. Can you hear me?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going
Hey,
on,
Lee.
Fritz?
My man.
Hey, JLS.
Much love. buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to the chat. One of the things that I really saw today that I really liked is that I saw the Knicks, once they identified that Olynyk couldn't stop Cat on those drives, they just hit the spam button. They just they just wouldn't stop until they stopped it. So I like that the Knicks are identifying weaknesses and they're going after it instead
Good
of
point.
just playing their game hoping to outscore the team. So just finding a weakness and just exploiting it until it stops.
I agree. I agree. Thank you. Like even campaign, man. I feel like the bench has like a lot of minutes sometimes. Like, all right, 6-minute mark or whatever. Jalen Brunson comes in, campaign. Like campaign got some extended time because he was playing well, and that's something I used to complain about with Tibbs. And I felt like he let Payne kind of rock out a little bit more. So I agree with you. Good point, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a really good game. I think it's the peak so far, and I hope we get to 9. Like that's my hope. We get to 9 wins in a row. But yeah, we got to get through San Antonio. Hopefully, we're focused because San Antonio could be surprising.
I don't take San Antonio lightly whatsoever.
Me neither.
Yeah.
You already know Chris Paul.
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead, Fritz.
No, I just like that. Thanks for taking my call. Hopefully, if you haven't, please subscribe to TikTok. You have TikTok. Join the Discord. We do have discussions. If you want to talk trades, if you want to talk whatever's going on with the Knicks, if you want to throw a Nick meme in the chat, it's all in the discussion. So please join.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fritz, for holding this down, man. Best mod in the game, yo. Like really the best mod in the game. I be saying, I know people. I know it's not even just like a catchphrase. I say, like Fritz be doing behind the scenes. Fritz is essential. I'm just letting y'all guys know. Fritz is the man.
100%. It's like we have our own Bobby Martz on the show. He's like the black Bobby Martz, man. I love that. The fifth Beatle, my man Fritz Alexander. He's one of my favorite people. I love that we've had him more on the show to be able to speak his mind because he's not just on the business side of things. He has a lot of great insights on the Knicks. And I actually find myself rarely disagreeing with him. That doesn't mean that his Knicks are better, just his takes are better because they agree with my own, but it does help. I was definitely on his side about TJ Warren over Matt Ryan. I really wanted us to, at some point, give TJ Warren a look. I thought he could have been our Marcus Morris, whatever role they wanted Marcus Morris to fill. I thought TJ Warren did too, and that's something that Fritz has been advocating for on Twitter.
Yeah, I feel like Tibbs might have liked them too because Tibbs even shouted them out a few times. So I don't know if it's a disconnect between the front office and Tibbs and the roster, but it seemed like he should get a shot. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. I thought that was a no-brainer to me, actually, considering what he's done in like real games and how he was playing in the G League. I thought it was a
what's even
no-brainer.
more surprising? That the fact that he's not on a two-way contract makes him available for any team to pick up, and I'm surprised he hasn't been picked up. I think even Moses Brown was scooped up for a minute by, I'm not sure who it was, Philly or someone had him for like a week. I mean, they released him, but I'm surprised TJ Warren hasn't gotten a look by some team and needs some perimeter help, like a Sacramento or someone, and just have him play 2 or 3 games and see what he can give you.
I agree. I definitely agree. Yo, salute to the chat though. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. 75 people in the chat. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe. If you want to, interact with us, definitely hit that subscribe button so we can read your comments in the chat as well. Shout out to John Mark, Felicia Lee holding down for the ladies in the chat, Stanley Novak as well, Sherwin over here, welcome, Prezi the boss as well. Welcome to you guys. All right, also people in TikTok land as well. TikTok be in and out. TikTok's attention span isn't as long as the YouTube. maybe that's just time. Maybe that's just time. Get to know us. Get to know us. All right, man. That's all I got. Yo, that's all I got. You have any oohs or bruhs? I know somebody mentioned Joel Embiid.
Damn. On top of my head, I thought I had one I wanted to save. But do yours and see if something comes to me, and then I'll try to pull something out my ass. I feel like there was something that was pick.
I mean, for a ooh pick, I can definitely say one of the plays that I enjoyed was the Karl-Anthony Towns dunk where I forgot who tried to steal it. Was it Olynyk tried to steal the ball and Karl-Anthony Towns pretty much drove down the lane and did like a Statue of Liberty dunk in the second or third quarter, I believe it was. That's one play I enjoyed. Another play I enjoyed was Josh Hart. The Knicks make it a stop. Josh Hart starts a fast break, passes the ball at half court between two Raptors into Jalen Brunson's hands, who goes in for a layup. I like that as well. That's another ooh pick that I enjoyed. For bruh pick, I just remember Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was playing against the Spurs, and he got tossed. I felt, and he was barking on the refs crazy. He was looking. He had the little Phantom of the Opera mask on. You know what I'm saying? Because he broke his face bone. I think he looked like he flopped, and they called a foul on him, and he got pissed, and he's barking off the ref, and he got ejected. And anytime that Joel Embiid has a bad day, I'm all for it. So, bruh, pick Joel Embiid. Bruh.
I remember now. First off, I do not miss RJ Barrett at all. I was somebody who was never very high on him. Just got really deflated watching him get his shit eaten at the rim so many times with wearing a Knicks jersey, and his just mediocre defensive effort at times as well, and the inconsistent shot. It was at a shooting slump every other month. But I do wish him well in Toronto. I'm glad that he's home, and him getting over his brother's death, that has to be really hard. I'm glad that he's very close to family for that, and I think he's impacting Toronto way more than he ever did here in New York. I think he's got a home there, and him and Scotty Barnes a nice perimeter duo, and Gray Dick. Those three have a really nice chemistry with one another. Pause. And I hope that he continues to evolve as a playmaker and a rebounder. And I like that he came out with some extra energy for the Nets tonight. I thought that was good on him. So he's my ooh pick, giving him some props for really developing his game and becoming a much higher level playmaker while he's in Toronto. And seems to be a little bit happier as well in that open space that he's playing with up there. Yeah. My bruh pick.
Better finisher too. Like he's like more efficient around the rim. He isn't breaking like he used to this last year. I mean, it's just time, man. Young players in time. You sometimes it'll just take some time to get certain things, and sometimes it's just fit too. Like him and Julius Randle was redundant, if we're being real.
I agree, and I also that leads me to my bruh pick, Julius Randle. Man, damn it, I still am a fan of him, and I wanted him to be on this team when we won a championship because I thought we could win a championship with him. I still do. I believe that if iHeart would have stayed, for sure, we could have won a championship with Julius Randle. But man, the fit in Minnesota is ass. And the fan, I kind of actually feel bad for him for the first time in a long time because as someone who's deeply connected to all of NBA Twitter, the fans are being ruthless on him in Minnesota. Like they don't just want him gone. They actually hate him. They hate watching him and they hate him as a player. And a lot of it stems from his defensive effort. It's not like a personal preference or making fun of his appearance or don't like the style of play. It's the lapse on defense that they're creating low light clips of all the times that he ball watches and gives up on the defensive end. And I don't blame him because us Knicks fans, we saw that for 5 years while he was here, I think in total. It's real. And he does not put forth effort consistently on defense. And he only does when his shot is on and he's energized. Then he kind of starts playing defense because it leads to more shot attempts for him on the other end. Tonight, in a loss, he had 19, 13, and 7, but he shot 2 of 7 from the perimeter and 6 of 15 overall after a 4 of 13 night and an 8 of 17 night the night before. So Julius Randle, man, I hope they turn it around. I don't think they will. I think Randall plays an outdated brand of basketball that it really takes a very specific kind of fit for him to thrive in. But unlike New York, who wanted to do right by him and send him to a contender, Minnesota doesn't have that same mindset. So we could end up seeing him flipped and playing in Washington or Brooklyn before the year's over. And I would feel even extra bad for him because I think he's a great basketball player and a great man. But damn it, his game just has not evolved to the modern level.
You know, it's funny, like, I saw Randall play really good with the Knicks from January to February before he got injured. And I continue to say that was one of the best basketball I've seen him play, and I thought it could work because of that. And he was playing on both sides of the ball. He's in Minnesota now, and he's not. And it's funny because I've been actually tuning in to Minnesota podcasts to see what they say. And you're right, Lee. They're not liking him at all. But it's funny because a lot of discussions are very similar to the type of discussions we were having last year about coach versus player, because they're having the accountability discussion about the Minnesota coach, the same one we were having about Tibbs.
Yep.
They were like, how come they can't hold
true.
this guy accountable? And they're having the conversation their conversation is the coach not holding him accountable, or is it just impossible to hold him accountable because of his temperament? So a lot of the same conversations we have about accountability with Tibbs and why we were kind of discussing with him at certain points, they're having the exact same conversation over there with the Timberwolves. And it's also interesting because they're praising that same coach last year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that team that coached Julius Randle and if and how they turn that around.
One final note, I definitely wish him well, and I actually hope that he's able to reacclimate himself to the roster, and I hope he'll able to win with him in the starting unit. But I'm starting to hear murmurs about people wanting him benched, wanting him traded, and that's not going to work with his personality. I'm just overall very thankful he's no longer our problem, because there always is an element of him being a problem when he's on your team, and he was for us, and now he is for Minnesota. But I hope they're able to turn it around. But man, what a difference in opposite Karl-Anthony Towns is to everything that Julius Randle is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying Karl-Anthony Towns here in Knick uniform, even with the defensive frustration. It's a different frustration. It's like a different level of frustration. It's like, oh, he's trying, but he's fouling, versus, oh, he's not trying at all. He tries. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, well said, man. Well said. All right. Salute chat. Yo, I see my godmother on TikTok watching the show. Shout out to my godmother. All right.
Yo, shout out. Merry Christmas to you.
Who else godmothers on TikTok? Just mine, damn it. All right. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks you guys on YouTube. Fritz, Alessandro, Gregory Lee. We served 100 people. Stanley Nowak, Felicia Lee. Everybody rocking with the KOT show. You already know, if you like the show, hit that like, subscribe. Super chats are welcome. Donations are welcome. Help keep the lights on and keep us going. So I appreciate all the support that you guys give to us. Next game will be, I think this game is Christmas. I'm going to be with my mom and my sister on Christmas. So I'm not going to have the usual audio setup. I'm probably going to have like the home setup with not the audio is not going to be as nice as it usually is, but because I'm going to be with my family, but I'm going to still have some post games. So just bear with me. All right. Just bear with me. Let us rock. And I'll be back with the usual setup after a few games, but Christmas, I will be on. I'll be on. I don't expect anybody else to be on. If I'm doing this show by myself, it's fine. You can have off if you feel like it, but
yeah, Christmas, I'll be visiting my mom, so I'll be spending the majority of a day with her. I haven't seen her in a while. So it can be difficult, but yeah, I will unfortunately not only miss a podcast, I will also miss a game because I'll be spending time with her in her at her home. So yeah. But catch me on Twitter, argue me until then. There's still 72 hours till Christmas. I'll be arguing all 72 of them as long as there's someone to argue with. On Twitter @_ Lee Escobedo, LeeEscobedo. But I do hope everyone here watching, and especially my main man, Jay Ellis, has a beautiful Merry Christmas and has great time with their family. Since I won't be here to wish everyone on Christmas Day, I'm wishing a little bit early. I hope everyone has a great time with their family and spend time with the ones that love you and the ones that you love. And don't take that time for granted. It's just very short. So that's why I'm going to be spending my Christmas Day with my mom.
All right. Salute to Lee's moms. All right. I'm sure she's very proud. All right. All right. That's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, hit that like and subscribe. We're here after every game talking Knicks basketball. And hold on, let me make sure I'm in the right place. And as always, you already know the deal.
Shout out the worldwide west. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.